Now they got a lot of stuff. He's been doing one thing. You're good.
This really has. Used to be yeah. Lay your hands on it. Lay your hands on it. That's right.
No, let's just.
Good evening. Time is now 6:02 p.m. for the Blytheville Board of Education monthly meeting. Today is October the 24th, 2024. Thank each and every one of you for attending tonight's meeting. I will establish a quorum at this time. Mrs. Nichols.
Present.
Mr. Jefferson. Here. Mrs. Johnson.
Here.
Mrs. Bogart.
Here.
Myself. We'll now stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The president has been created or started. We always remember our why we are here. Our students are our most prized possession for the Blytheville School District. Whatever we do, whatever information is presented tonight should and will be in the best interest of all of our students in the Blytheville School District and the community of Blytheville. So as we are prepared to hear the information and reports of tonight's meeting, I would ask that all board members remember, this is our why, our students and our community. And any decisions that we make, any information that's presented should be in the best interest of those students. We'll now go down to unfinished business. I would like to make a correction on under unfinished business that this matter will be addressed at a later date on the parking lot behind the medical office of the boys' gym.
Question on that, Mr. Harry, and how all you board members. Didn't you all discuss that last month, did it? Or did not, on the parking lot?
No, ma'am.
You did not.
No, ma'am.
So what we waiting on? on additional information?
Yes, ma'am. We're getting legal guidance and
Oh.
counsel on how to move forward with the property that the school district does not own.
Exactly. I agree with that. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. We'll now move down to public comments. Mrs. Maisha Parks, you will have 3 minutes to address the board at this time.
Good evening. I'm Maisha Parks. I'm a parent of 6, but I have 2 that are currently enrolled at the elementary school. And I'm involved in a couple of like parent groups to where we get together and we talk about some concerns that we have 2 representatives from each school in the district to where we meet monthly and kind of go over some concerns that we feel like we've witnessed at that certain school and what we can do as parents and community members to help, in addition to what you all do, but ways that we can help, problem areas and who we need to talk to about some of those problems and different things. One of the biggest issues that we've recently discussed is uniforms and how we kind of got away from the uniforms. So we've talked to parents, we've talked to students, we've even talked to some employees of the different schools and gotten some feedback on how they feel about them. And just trying to see what we can do to move forward to work on re-implementing uniforms in the school system. And just a little quick and simple synopsis of our last meeting. Some of the reasons to reconsider implementing uniforms to the district again. For one, it gives the kids a sense of unity. It brings the kids together to where we're not individualized. We're all the same. We have on the same thing, it's just a different color. So that brings unity to the forefront. It takes a lot of mental pressure off of the kids to where they don't have to feel like they have to fit in by wearing this or wearing that. We all know that the generation now is all about how you look when you go to school. It's an image versus what you're supposed to be going to school to do. Everybody trying to see who can dress better than the next. I'm sorry. And it would help financially as well. A lot of parents can't afford it. I know personally because every year I have a household that I give my kids old clothes to every year. And then I help that mother if she needs to purchase other things. So I know it can be a financial burden, even on people that are financially stable like myself. I would much rather go buy 5 khakis, 5 navies versus, oh, shoot, them pants 30. Okay, you got to buy 10 and 20 pair of pants just so your child can feel like they can fit in. Also, it will cut down bullying just because, you know, you don't have to worry about the next person talking about who has what, kids' clothes looking a little rougher than the other. So it will cut down bullying, which cuts down disciplinary in the schools, which cuts down confusion during class and disruption and things of that nature. It would help bring an overall look to the district as well, because right now it looks like everything's wild and all over the place. I know uniforms is a generic topic, but it's a big topic all in the same. Once you look at the bigger picture, it will bring back a lot of structure. And as a parent, as well as a prior student,
Sorry to cut you off. Thank you so much for your presentation. Now to move down to information items and reports. Mrs. Blankenship, I'll start with the superintendent's report tonight.
Okay, the first thing listed, first of all, good evening to everyone. So happy to see you out today. It says employee holiday bonus discussion. This was brought to me by our finance director, Ms. Southern, who was not able to be here this evening. But she has shared some information with me about employee holiday bonus, which she has gone through the budget. She's made sure that it would mess up anything, that we would still be financially sound and stable. She said if we do a bonus of $1,000. She broke it down times 243 employees. And she went through and took out teacher retirement, Social Security, all of those items that are deducted. And then the total cost is under $300,000. So just wanted to start that discussion because we'll have to make a decision no later than the November board meeting so that she can start making sure, because we'll have to do these, she have to do them manually. If I believe that's what she told me. So that way we'll have time to make sure everybody's taken care of. So just something for you guys to start thinking about.
I didn't
And-
follow the figures, you don't bother.
Oh, 243 employees at $1,000
A base.
Yes.
And
And that's including taking out the,
certified, non-certified.
everyone,
Every.
make a distinction.
Yes,
Yes.
all employees that covers certified, classified.
Yes.
Are you saying that we are going to gross pay them $1,000 and then all the taxes come out?
Yes, it'll still be minus to all their normal taxes, social security, teacher retirement, everything that normally comes out of a.
And that wouldn't include the taxes that the school district has to match, right?
The teacher retirement,
Well, I mean, does it? are there
it'll be
some
the regular
company
things that's
paid things?
deducted from their paychecks every month.
But we will have to pay in addition to that for unemployment, right, and some various things that the school district provide.
For unemployment,
No,
I don't think so. She didn't mention that we would have to do that.
it's actually the same as we've been doing all the time. When we give a bonus, all the federal, state withholding taxes are withheld. Any other earnings that are withheld, it's nothing different. It's just that
Correct.
sometimes we flexible with the amount of money. Question, when is, this is for, you slating it for December?
For December, yes.
So, Ms. Blankenship, is this the recommendation at this time?
It is my recommendation, but I know some of you might want to have some time to think about, it, but it is still my recommendation.
So I understand it's for the board to consider. However, you made a statement that this would have to be manually entered by Mrs. Southern, and the sooner she can start this, it would be the better. It would be better
Right.
for her.
Accounts
Board member have any other?
We gave them last year at Christmas too.
No, you did not.
It was Christmas.
You did, I think it was just one department that got something in December.
What department, if we,
Transportation.
oh, there was a recommendation of Mrs. Johnson, I mean, she forgot yet. And I felt that it should have been all employees whenever you give a Christmas bonus. But actually, it's to be done in accounts payable, and with the tools that they have, it shouldn't be a problem for them to go and enter that amount in their manuals to have it. We can make a decision, what you asking is making a decision, a motion to make that final tonight.
Yes, if the board so desires.
If you so desire.
Haven't we discussed in the past doing incentive-based bonuses that would be, reflective of our desires for the district?
I believe incentive bonuses were, or may still be in place, Mrs. Carrington. I know last year there was a presentation and information brought to us for a 3-year plan that if a building was to move a certain grade letter, that there would be a state incentive for the building principal and the teachers that are there. If the teacher became national board certified or different credentials, there was an incentive program that was there. So is that the incentive program you were referring to,
Yeah,
performance-based or improvement-based?
And so, and we've discussed it several times, in different iterations, but, if we're still having problems with licensure, that might be a good way to encourage, people to get licensure. Money usually makes people motivated. Rather than just giving a blanket bonus. Or maybe we give a blanket bonus for a different amount and incentivize those people who have gotten SALT licensure. It's $243,000, right?
I agree with you in part. I'll say this, for the licensure, I believe we're moving in the right direction, and there's different programs and different services and resources that are helping. And some that we'll find out more about through the work session. some incentives that are there tied to that. We did just approve an amended salary schedule for some of our certified and credentialed teachers and educators, so we can expand that salary range that's there. So that helps also. I don't want to make money the only motivating factor for them to get their credentials or the certifications.
I guess I'm not saying it shouldn't be the only motivating factor because obviously, they should want to do it as well. But, as far as the board that we are, we have very few levers to press to motivate someone to do that. And this money is one of those levers that we have to press.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, as a district that is currently struggling with licensure and performance, that this money could be used to help with that.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say that everybody doesn't deserve something for Christmas, but I'm saying that as a district that is in declining enrollment and has various problems, that these are things that we probably ought to address when we're spending our money.
It's gone down. That's true.
So we have about 38 unlicensed at this time.
It's quite a bit. But I want the board to keep in mind that lately, and we all are aware of that, because we made this, we accepted the recommendation. Lately, we have been spending a lot of money for stipend. And like what you said before, we had a lot of people certified was working in different capacities and they weren't getting paid. But the last 2 months, that's what we kind of been doing. The 3 months it's been paying, stipend pay. But this is entirely different for a holiday bonus. And my personal intake of this, if we financial situated, I think that the district, the 243 employees we have, I approve of the bonus.
Would you like to make a motion at this time?
Because not necessarily all the other schools in the county have done that, even more than $1,000. Like Mrs. Johnson said, we did not do it last year. And I don't think we gave them a bonus year before. So
Would you like to make a motion at this time?
if that's her recommendation, I move that at this time we accept interim blanket motion and to pay all employees a holiday bonus. A second.
Been a motion and a second. A motion by Mrs. Wells, second by Mrs. Bogart. Any further discussion on the?
I would like to just say that I think it would be prudent of us to select an amount to give for a holiday bonus and then reserve some of these funds to incentivize teacher performance.
I'll amend the motion. It's $1,000, just $1,000 that I would for the record. $1,000.
Okay, we have a motion, a second, and discussion.
That is what she said to begin with, 1,000.
Yeah.
Yes, 1,000, but then she went on to about 3,000, and that's what I was thinking.
I did not say that.
Yeah, well, and it's $1,000. What did you say?
It's just $1,000.
She didn't say 3,000. She
No,
was saying.
what did you say?
Oh, no, reserve.
Reserve, and not her. Okay,
All right.
What was the date, Miss Southern, so that we had to make a
It was
decision?
by November. November.
We're there.
board.
Right.
what time, when is the next board meeting in November, since the holiday is coming?
We are done.
Okay, we have motion and a second, had discussion, any further discussion on the motion that's on the floor at this time? If not, I'll entertain a vote at this time. All in favor of $1,000 holiday bonus for all employees, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. Okay, the motion passes. We'll now move down to test scores, Mr. Paul Jenkins.
You guys know, our Atlas scores were released across the state. We went to the principals and building leadership teams and district leadership. Went to our co-ops yesterday to go through a data interpretation process. So he's just gonna give a quick overview and then we'll be able to give you more in-depth information because we're still getting information from the state. It's very new. And he'll get into some of that information now.
Yeah, this is like the 39,000-foot view, so it's not in.
Right.
I would, Mr. Hammond, you did say something about working session.
Yes.
If you have any available time, it take about an hour. Be happy to do.
Okay.
So there's an educator and parent resources. I'll share this. There's a one pager for the parents. Jacob, could you click that? Will it open up? Hopefully. And I have a meeting with my building test coordinators next week. The parents have access code to get to their kids' scores in the handicap system. That code will stay with the kiddo from kindergarten through whenever they graduate. They can look at their scores all the way through interims, classroom assessments, everything for their student. So, and then this is just what the state provides, and all these are links that take them to different things. And we're posting this on our website for the parents. And we're gonna work on the flyer with the codes so that we can get it to the parents. You go back to this. All right, one thing you're gonna notice in this is it's got statistics. Oh, on the student scores, and we'll explain this to the parent. 1054, that's actually a level 2, plus or minus 9. Right? So in statistics, that's just your standard variation on each side. So the student could have been a 145, or they could be a 163. That's just the way the standards fall. This does everything Arkansas standards, period. ACT Aspire never did. So this is all Arkansas standards. Parents can drill down to the standard level to see what their kids did on that one standard. But you'll see that statistical thing all the time. Next.
That's a generic score. I mean, that's not our score.
Right, so, level 1, the score range is 1,000 to 1040. I didn't set these as state. Now, let me preface this. Level 1, 2, 3, and 4 mean something entirely different than ACT Aspire ever did. All right, so level 1, yes, the kiddo needs grade level standards assistance. Level 2, they might know the standard, but they can't apply it very well. Level 3, they know the standards, can apply it. Level 4, they're advanced in that standard. They can apply it in all sorts of different situations. That's how these go now. It's not, oh, well, he got a 1, he's failing. No, it just means help for the kiddo, right? You do your interventions, things like that. This is all set up differently, so just dump what you thought about ACT Aspire. It's all different. So, and then it talks about that standard. So these are the levels. Like I said, you know, level 1, they just have a limited understanding of the standard. So you need to start looking what's going on. The student needs some intervention. We need to look at all sorts of different things, right? Level 2, they know the standard, but they can't work within the standard. They can't apply it very well. So, and like that one score you saw, depending, it would be right across the line. 1060 is the cut for everything. And you'll see that on the next one. So for This is just the state's baseline distribution. So this is how, the scores go. That's the cut levels were developed by Arkansas classroom teachers based off the standard.
Are you saying that this is the state of Arkansas or is this our
The
data?
state of Arkansas. Yeah, none of this is our data. Number one, I can't present our data not in the format, because it has students' confidential. And a work session, I could, but not for.
And all of this information was just at last month's state board meeting when they finally voted on it.
2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, just a
Yeah.
couple of weeks ago.
And we're having to learn a whole new way of looking at this. So for ELA score ranges, these were all the score ranges. One thing you're gonna notice when I go to the next two slides, 1060 sits right there. That's the split. Right? And the 1060, if you're slightly below it, they just need some more rigor or a little bit help on some standards. They got some standards right, some standards wrong. The way the test does it is if Miss Carrington is taking the 10th grade geometry test, it'll ramp up and down within 10th grade. As you know, geometry has more difficult questions and less difficult questions. It sits there bouncing back and forth with questions to figure out where the kid is. It never goes down to 9th grade, never goes up to 11th grade. It stays within the grade level, but it moves based on its adaptive test. The only one that isn't adaptive is kindergarten. All the other grades are adaptive. So mathematics score ranges, once again, you'll see 1060, that's the split. And then the science. Haven't heard anything on this, and you will not see any grade reports until way next year. They haven't done them yet. Now, they are working on a linking study for ACT Aspire to this, but it's a statistical linking study. But that's pretty much it on the score. Now, like I said, the training I went to yesterday, about 2.5 hours long. I can probably condense it down to about an hour if you have the. Okay, good.
Did I misunderstand something
Hmm.
on that? You're saying that there's no feedback on the scores now?
No, we just have a score. There's some feedback, but they haven't developed everything. Remember this brand new test. I mean, I have scores, but you can't interpret.
If they're within range and
No, because this test isn't about, oops, this kid's failing. This is about this student needs assistance. And that's the way the system's designed. It's not designed to, I got you. It's a totally different information. Just dump ACT Aspire. Or track. ACT Aspire was developed to see how well you can do on the ACT test and what grade. That's all it was ever designed. Yep. But like I said, if you have time, I'll be happy to do that. You'll understand a lot better. Thank you, Jay.
And we do have that information on our website and, schools have put it on their, social media pages as well, the information for parents. There's video there, there's lots of information that they could go and take a look at. And schools are gonna be distributing the individual test scores and getting all that information out, but like I said, it is very new. And we went through the interpretation data yesterday, so we're still learning. When they get something, they let us know, so it's real time going through this.
I have a question. So he's not gonna present, what about the test scores of the district? The performance then of our district?
Atlas,
Yes.
that's what we're working on, compiling together to put into information for you. From Atlas,
No.
no,
Ms. Bogart know what I'm saying. I'm trying to find test scores. Well, how did you do on our test scores? It's supposed to be presented in October. Yeah.
yes,
October.
that's what he's talking about, he's gonna be able to put together.
So that's what we're proposing November 11th through the 14th to have a work session. Mr. Jenkins is requesting 1 hour to.
Put all of that
To
together,
present that
yes.
information.
And then, let the, community know how well we did show some. And I would like to see some comparison from.
We can't compare, there's no comparing.
Compare.
This is a brand new test. They just set the baseline cut scores. It is not a comparative test to the ACT Aspire.
From
Totally different
Secretary
type of
Levon
test.
down, he'll tell you, do not compare.
Because we would know.
Well, that's some of the questions that we've had as well as we've been going through the training, so.
Right, we would like to know how well we did, what are we doing, from the last time.
There's no comparison to the previous test.
They have asked that we not even try to compare the two.
This is the state's part.
Yes, ma'am.
They always in our business.
Well, they're telling the
They
whole
changed.
state.
Changed so much.
Thank you, Mr. Jenkins. We will now move on to our action items tonight. I will read each action item. I will ask for further information or discussion on the action item at that time. Action item A, the September 26, 2024 regular meeting. Any further information or discussion? This is action item. Action item B, the financial report, which was included in our board packet for review. Any further information or discussion?
I have a question. Go ahead, and then I have a question for Mr. Jenkins on this financial report that I would like to request. Go ahead, Mrs. Carrington.
I was just curious when we could get to the new software that we had implemented, I believe, for the accounting software that should make the financial report easier to read.
Exactly. You just asked my question.
So we working with the Code Operate with the school resource center that, and they supposed to provide us with some additional software that should make these financial reports easier to read. And I'm just wondering when we're gonna get to that.
I spoke to Mr. Rich today, and they've been, at his word, swamped with the other districts and low on personnel. So now they've hired some people and they are ready to give us all this assistance that we've asked for to be extended. And so all of that will begin next week.
Mr. Jenkins.
Yeah.
Or Ms. Blankenship. On our contracts that we provide for employees. Excuse me, where can I find this, read this from this budget, here that we be presented every month? What do you,
I don't do anything with contracts at all.
okay, question. How can a board member, us, if we should be concerned? It's not listed at all? You telling me whoever does this in this budget? That we can look and who created this?
Are you wanting to know each individual teacher
No,
or just the
no,
teacher
not,
fund?
no, I shouldn't say that. Not the certified teachers. I'm talking about just contractors. If I hired Mr. Hammett as a do contracted work, right? Is there some kind of way on this budget that it can be implemented as far as the head and how much money that we paying and we agreed? And I would like to understand, and I'm quite sure the board members should be want to know that as well, like Mrs. Carrington said, we need to be able to identify this ourselves instead of just getting this here in a pack every month.
I don't do the financial, that's Mr.
So would you like to schedule some type of training to go through this
Well,
to
we have to have training.
explain every single item? Is that's
No.
what you're getting at?
No, no.
Ms. Wells, would it help also, what I've started to do is meet with Ms. Southern as well. If
Uh-huh.
there's any questions about any contracts or anything that we paid out from the district, you can
Yes.
schedule a meeting, come up, take 30 minutes, and she has that information.
Yeah, because
Print
I
it
would
out.
like to see, you
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
need to know where it's coming
Yes.
from.
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
money could be hidden at, somewhere else or put somewhere else.
Understand.
Not to, yes, you understand?
I understand what you're saying.
Right, and we are not qualified to just look at all this and agree, adopt the recommendation of this and what Mrs. Carrington said earlier. That was just my question on the financial report on number B.
Um, we will vote on each action item as it is listed instead of voting on all action items at the end of the action items. So I will go back to action item 1, and I will entertain a motion to accept action item A. This time, September 26th, 2024, regular meeting. Can I have a motion to?
Yes, correction, it's action item 7. You said 1. Under 8, it's action item 7, and we on 8. You want us to vote on them individual, A through L. You said 1.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I make a motion that we accept September 26, 2024, regular meeting minutes.
X, or I said,
There's been a motion and a second. Mrs. Johnson and Mrs. Carrington. All in favor of September 26th, regular meeting, please signify by raising the right hand. Motion passed unanimously. I'll entertain a motion for action item B to accept the financial report as listed or reported out at this time.
I make a motion that we accept financial report as stated.
Been a motion, I say. There's been a motion and a second. All in favor of action item B, financial report, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed? We'll now move down to action item C, 2022-2023 audit. Becky Cooper with Thomas Faden Note.
that's all.
so she gonna do a presentation as us, we voted on these action items? Presentation could have been done before, but go ahead, we'll look at it. See, we in the process of voting on action items, and I didn't know there should be a presentation done.
I would just.
I know you're not chairing the meeting, I'm just saying.
I was just asked to come tonight.
Yeah, you always do, once a year, yeah, I know that. I was just saying that it should have been presented, or we start taking motion on items. That's the problem. Parliamentary procedure.
Thank you, Ms. Cooper.
This is the 22-23 audit, and I know that it's later than it's usually been presented, and that is due to, we had difficulties getting information timely and stuff, and we also had the treasurer leave during the year, and so that's why it took so long to get it to you. Anyway, everything was pretty much clean. You at the end of the year at June 30th, 23, there was $10,791,365 in your cash account. And you spent $3,100,000 roughly on equipment, which included the air conditioning unit for the middle school. And then you also purchased a playground for the elementary school. And the air conditioner unit was going to be completed during the 23-24 year. And that would be found during that audit, whether or not that was completed or not. And on page 6 of the audit, which that page is not numbered, but it's right before page 7, which is numbered. There were a few findings there. And one of them was, you will see there that it was noted that Dr. Perkins was appointed as the district's dispersing officer, and that should have been a board member. And that was corrected. The fixed assets were not maintained during the year, which they should have been added to the system. And we gave a list, and I think that was given to the state to be added. And then, there was a contract with the public relations company that was not approved by the board. And then, we were not able to test teacher contracts because we could not find any of the contracts for that year.
And just to clarify one thing, because they will remove this. Number 3 is Sugar Ditch. Was that?
Yeah, that's correct.
Sure, this communications for board knowledge. This item 3 of that finding for 47,500. This is Sugar Ditch Communications.
What about the feed on the attorneys, district attorneys and, the special attorney that we hired? Is that going to be presented to us as well?
That's a different year. This is 22-23.
We're always behind.
Yes, ma'am.
You stay behind. You can't, so like you don't do your tax returns for 2022 until 2023. So
Right, I understand that. If you be the president presiding and Mrs. Blankenship as the interim superintendent, we would like to be requested. I would, as long as I'm on board. I need to know to be listed in this report on our attorney fees. The attorney fees that we pay. We don't know that, what they get paid. And then also we in a hiring a special one. But I understand what you just said, Mr. Cole. This is prior year. I'm just kind of moving forward.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, Ms. Cooper, thank you so much. Any questions for any of the board members at this time? Concerning the audit report?
they want to take over. Continue.
And just to clarify that in the report, it will say that you have an adverse opinion, and that's because the state requires a regulatory basis of accounting, whereas we would usually do it under generally accepted accounting principles, which requires that depreciation expense be reported and stuff in according to the state. They do not require that to be reported. So that's why there's an adverse opinion on the audit report.
Thank you so much. Okay, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to accept action item C. Under action items, 2022-2023 audit, Thomas Spade Noble. I'll entertain a motion at this time.
I'll make the motion that we accept item C.
Second.
Been a motion and a second, Mr. Jefferson, second by Ms. Johnson. All in favor? Any further discussion or information on the audit? Okay, all in favor of the motion to accept the audit report for 2022-2023, please signify by raising your right hand at this time. All opposed? Okay, we'll move down to action item D, 2024-2025 budget. Further information or discussion? Attached to our board packet. I'll entertain a motion to accept the 24-25 budget. Action item D.
I move that. Okay.
I was just gonna, ask a question about the report, and if there are any things of notes that we should be aware of as a board that has changed from one group to the other.
Salaries here.
in the budget.
Yeah, well, that's-
The salary.
Yeah.
It's September. Yeah. Go ahead, you had a repeat your, question, you're, but how you, Mrs. Carrington, what you say? Actually, what you.
My question was if there were any changes the board should be aware of between this budget and the previous budget.
I would like to just bring to the board's attention. We recently amended the salary schedule. Some of our teachers, more experienced or certified teachers, could now see a different salary range for their years of experience and certification for credentials or becoming national board certified. There's flexibility for the superintendent to incentivize or compensate them based on the amended salary schedule that we just approved. So we could see that change in the 24-25 budget for some of our certified staff and personnel and teachers as well.
So that would be the reason it's gone up $1.1 million.
I'm not gonna say it's totally all that's there. Maybe some other information, Ms. Blankenship, Ms. Southern can speak to that's there as well.
On the salaries for the employees, when we hire, like for instance, the coach, Pierce, Kenzie. Who discussed that, the PCP team and the interim superintendent or the superintendent, not the board president, we don't have anything to do with that. Who discussed that salary as?
I'm not recommending not discuss
That's
this.
the open session.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is open session and can't
Okay,
discuss personnel.
I was interested in that.
Ms. Blankenship, is there any information you can get to us?
I can get you something in the morning
Or,
from the Southern, yeah.
yes. Because I don't know what that range is. And
I get your questions.
for those.
For me, I would like to know, any material changes from these funds, that we're expecting, that to affect the monies that we're spending, like for instance, the building, fund, it looks like we're expecting to spend $2 million more, if I'm reading this correctly. We spent the past year. Yeah. And I realize that's an allowance for the building fund, so Fund 3. Building fund, total expenditures for last year were 2 million, and now we're going to 4.2 million.
Changes with the operation budget.
I see that's the ending balance that they calculated as the budget for 24-25. What we ended with. If you look at 23-24 beginning balance, the total of the expenditures and the ending balance is what was carried over as the new budgeted balance for the year for 24-25. So I don't know if that helps or provides some clarity as to saying, are we expecting any major, expenses around the buildings? I don't see that. Or I don't have that information or knowledge of that. But I just see where that ending balance is carried as well.
I see it as well. If that's the case, are we projecting to spend all the money that we have in the building budget?
I would hope not
But it looks like that's what this report says.
for its total expenditures.
I mean, the budget is supposed to be an example of what we intend on spending, so a projected amount, so to speak. I'm just.
I think, yeah, can we get some more information on that? And we will have, I'm hoping, APSRC to help review this. So
Is this something that we need to vote on this evening? I know there's this.
their time, it is time sensitive.
Huh?
Yes.
Yes and no.
I do believe.
If there's no clear understanding and questions, we just have to table it. Have to have a motion to table and vote on.
Well,
I
I
mean,
think
if
we have to, I
everybody,
think we have to have a budget for the year at a,
certain time.
yes,
Right.
yeah, so it says, oh,
So it's just a meeting.
this is, yeah, we need to vote on this tonight. Ms. Webster, can you please take note of the total
We
budget?
already did.
Got it?
Yeah, when she was asking.
And just, if it helps, Mrs. Carrington, you know, any expenditures above a certain threshold, we would have to approve, so I don't believe that any of these expenditures that are listed as the ending balance for 23-24 has been approved without, you know, the board being aware of what was projected to happen for 24-25. But I would like to understand why is it listed as total expenditures? Can we get clarity there? And,
To see why she allowed. for
Yes.
such.
Really, what I would like in the future is that the board have a work session around the budget, so we have some idea of what we're planning to spend as opposed to just spending money willy-nilly. I mean, I'm not saying that you're
No, I know.
presented to just have us spend money that way, but it's, it would be helpful to know.
Right, more clarity and all
Yeah,
that.
how the
around-
budget.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That we're planning on spending X, and when we get presented a $1 million bill for air conditioning, we'll go, hey, that's all of our money. We have $1 million left.
That was actually mentioned that I had about training around the budget, so. Yeah.
All right, this is time sensitive and needs to be approved. We have noted for further clarity and information on the
Yes.
building fund, fund 3, total expenditures. And we can get that information during the work session, or you can email that further information for us there. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve 24-25 budget. Motion has been made. Motion. All in favor of the 24-25 budget, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. 5-2. Action item E. The ADU annual financial report for 23-24 and 24-25 budget. That has been approved. I will sign and, it's a work. Sign. Action item F, Blytheville School District, Mississippi County Hazard Mitigation Plan Resolution. More information or discussion there.
This is it's just calling for readoption of the plan. I guess you guys have done this every year. So they sent it back to see if you want to readopt this particular mitigation plan about hazards and flooding and such.
Any further information or discussion? Action item F. If there's no more information or discussion presented, I'll entertain a motion to accept the Mississippi County Hazard Mitigation Plan Resolution.
Make a motion that we accept Blytheville School District, Mississippi County Hazardous Mitigation Plan Resolution.
There's been a motion and a second. All in favor of the Blytheville School District, Mississippi County Hazard Mitigation Plan and Resolution, please signify by raising your right hand. Here's unanimous.
That's E.
That's the signing of the document.
We're not voting on it.
Yeah, we accept the budget. I'm sorry, we can go back and. vote
No,
on it.
we did D, but I don't know that we
Yeah,
did
it's two
E.
different documents.
Want a motion to do, for E. Read it.
Oh, okay, let me read this. Okay. Arkansas Code annotated 6-202202 states, the Board of Directors of the School District Open Enrollment Public Charter Schools and Education Service Cooperative annually shall prepare a budget of expenditures and receipts that shall be filed with the Department of Education by September 30th of each year under this subchapter. Each budget shall be approved by the Board of Directors of each school district, open enrollment public charter school, and education service cooperative at a legally held meeting. It shall be signed by the President of the Board of Directors and the ex officio financial secretary of each school district, open enrollment public charter school, and education service cooperative. The board shall contain the information and be prepared in an electronic format prescribed by the Department of Education, Governor, Financial Accounting for Arkansas School District, open enrollment public charter schools, and education service cooperatives. Warrants or checks of a school district open enrollment public charter school or education service cooperative issued after the date required by subsection A of the section shall be invalid unless a budget has been filed as required by the subchapter and in compliance with appropriate rules. The ex officio financial secretary of the school district open enrollment public charter school or education service cooperative and his or her surety shall be liable for any warrants or checks countersigned after the date required by subsection A of this section if the budget has not been filed. After the Department of Education has met all deadlines for providing information to school district, open enrollment, public charter schools, or education service cooperative, the distribution of all grants and aids from the state for which the school district, open enrollment, public charter school requirements of this subchapter are met by the school district, enrollment, public charter schools, or education service cooperative. The Blytheville School District, open enrollment, public charter school, or education service cooperative in compliance with these requirements approves the 23-24 financial report due by August 31st in cycle 9 and the 24-24 budget due by September 30th. They were approved.
And all those deadlines.
So I will entertain a motion for action item E.
Make a motion that we accept action item E.
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 A second.
Been a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. Motion carries. Outside at this time. Action item G, 24-25 annual equity compliance. Any further information or discussion? And a motion. G. Entertaining motion for 24-25 annual equity compliance. Accept the motion. There's been a second. All in favor of the 24-25 annual equity compliance, please signify by raising your right hand. Action item H, community service coordinator for graduation requirement stipend, $4,000.
Starting last year, the new community service was introduced that the class of 27 have to have 75 hours of community service for graduation in every class coming in. So we need somebody that's gonna track every single student's hours that they get. So Candy Groves has already started this. because she did it with all the clubs on campus. So now, because she already had the spreadsheet, she had the information going. She's also said that she would take on tracking all the ninth graders and 10th graders.
Wow.
And so that way we have one person keeping track of all these students' hours, and we'll have communication logs and things to send out to parents to let them know your son or daughter only has 12 hours and they need to get 20 this year. And so, it's set up to get so many each year. And she's already doing that, and so just so that she doesn't feel like.
Are all of the clubs, have they made this a requirement?
All the clubs?
Mhm.
Well, most of, probably all clubs, you have to have some type of hours. Yeah.
This comes under planning. Who was doing this last, term?
We had several people working together, the leadership team at the high school was working on this together. It was just like different people sending their kids hours here and there. So now we're gonna have one person that's gonna be in charge of all of that.
And that's why you asked her to give her a stipend of $4,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Where did you get that figure? I mean, who?
Just by the pattern that's already established with all the other stipends, just looking, if we look back over the years.
Comparison.
Yes, ma'am. And so the time that she's gonna have to keep up, and then the information to make sure that we're communicating that to the parents. And that's really important because this is for their graduation.
So do the club sponsors keep track of their own people and then it's turned into candy or?
Yes.
Okay, good. I
But
make a
we still
motion.
have quite a few students who are not in clubs and organizations. So those are the ones that she's really having to track now to make sure that they get the 75. Because you might be in 2 clubs and they might only require 10 hours. That's just, So we just gotta make sure that somebody's definitely watching that.
Well, just an idea, when I think of this, when you mentioned that some of the students aren't in clubs or organizations, will the coordinator link resources within the community to the students?
Yes, last year you guys approved like some outside community agencies that students might be a part of, different churches or organizations that they could go and do things out in the community. It's been approved by you guys. It just had to be approved and adopted by the board. And so that way, those organizations in the community will also be reporting back to us, hey, you had 10 kids show up to do this, this, and that.
I think Lights of the Delta was one of them.
Like so the Delta.
They're getting ready to do some stuff.
If a student needs biology, graduated, he knows he's gotta take biology. They know that they gotta.
They
have
know they got it.
services.
Yes, they know they have that.
There's gotta be some
Has to pick up
responsibility to them too.
every year.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we approve action item H, the community service coordinator for a graduation requirement stipend of $4,000.
I second.
There's been a motion by Ms. Karen, second by Ms. Bogart. All in favor of action item H, community service coordinator for graduation requirement stipend of $4,000, Ms. Candy Rose, please signify by raising your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. Action item I, RP Greer, coaching and consultant, LEA, and SPED, teacher due process support, $15,255. Further information or discussion?
This is just information from Ms. Walker concerning special education and making sure that we're doing what we have to be to stay compliant, make sure we're being equitable with all of our students and the training. And this is coming out of the special education budget. And she just wanted you guys to know because there are 2 different things that'll be occurring. So one is 15, one is 17, but together they're over that threshold. So we're just letting you know, and this is still falling back with last month, you guys approved the code of conduct. And so along with that, there's training that has to be done. We have to do it. We've been required and told we have to do it.
So we're doing I and J together.
I just wanted to go ahead and put the explanation out there.
Yes. Okay, I'll entertain a motion if there's no more information or discussion on action item I, RP Greer, coaching and consultant, LEA, SPED, teacher due process support, $15,255. I'll entertain a motion at this time. Motion
accept action item I, RP Group Coaching Consultant.
Second.
Been a motion by Mr. Jefferson, second by Ms. Johnson. All in favor of RP Greer Coaching Consultant, LEA, SPED, Teacher Due Process, $15,255. Please signify by raising your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. Action item J, RP Greer Coaching Consultant, CCEIS Support, $17,010.
Make a motion that we accept action item J.
Been a motion, and I have a second. Mr. Jefferson, second. All in favor, RP Career Coaching and Consultant, CCEIS, support $17,010. Please signify by raising your right hand. Motion carries. Action item K, Clean School Bus Rebate Program. Further information or discussion here?
Mr. Miller?
Yes, because I received an email, I think
Everybody.
everybody should have, yes.
So if you have any questions.
Yeah, it
about
was very interesting from Jessica Proto. Okay, Mr. Miller.
Yes, I think that this is similar to the grant, it was a grant last time, so I think this time we got to pay a percentage, so I think Ms. Blankenship, did you put something that someone had to sign, so me reading through the application process, it has to be approved, and the letter has to be sent in to apply.
Yeah, I have it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I will entertain a motion for the Clean School Bus Rebate Program for Blytheville School District at this time.
Motion that we approve the clean school bus rebate program, action item J.
Second.
Been a motion by Ms. Karen, second. All in favor of the Clean School Bus Rebate Program, please signify by raising your right hand. Motion carries. Action item L, ABM Ground and Maintenance Repair Services, $1,222,864.08. I have a presentation from Mark Phillips and ABM.
Well, if it's not. If this going, you've got a packet, but we can go through it if we need to. Okay. Pleasure it is to be at Blytheville School District. I want to thank you guys for allowing us to present to you. We're presenting facilities management and groundskeeping services. We start at ABM, we start each meeting with moments for safety, just talking about the lockout, tag out, which is general safety for our maintenance guys. You lock out the devices for equipment that can be locked out, tag out devices, maybe used in lieu of lockout devices, employee protection equivalent, and use only lockout, tag out devices authorized for a particular equipment. We teach this to our maintenance guys every day. We have a different moment for safety every day. Our moment for culture, our culture is we respect each other, celebrate differences, help each other find common ground and accept each other. So that is our culture. course, I'm Clark Brady. I'm the Director of Education Solutions. Got Cindy Williams here. She's the Vice President of Sales for Southeast. Alan Brown, the Regional Director of Operations. He'll be the guy that's over this area if we are lucky enough to win your business. Douglas Mitchell, he's our VP of FOM Engineering and Technical Support. He knows everything about facilities. And then we have George Molina, who's our Regional Ground Support. And we're glad to be here. Thank you. You'll see our agenda here. We're going to talk about our company background, on-site management, talent acquisition, employee retention and transition, specialized training, quality assurance, and communication. And I'm going to turn it over to Cindy.
I just thought we'd give you just a brief overview of who we are, for those of you that are not familiar. I don't know where it stands, so my apologies.
Fine.
Well, I want you to feel things great, and I don't want you to have some break your head. We are an old company, 115 years, started in 1909 as a window washing company. But you can see the offerings of the services that we do provide to all of our clients. Our core services for the education division, I'll talk about that in just a second, are the mechanical, engineering, landscape, and janitorial. And if you see there at the bottom, just really quickly, ADM is divided into 5 industry groups internally, and education is one of those. So this team that you see here today, if any leadership member, management member that should be fortunate enough to serve Blytheville is only serving education clients. So only K-12 and higher ed. Quick overview of just some name dropping, if you will. From each of our industry groups, you can see some familiar names. But most importantly, in the middle, some of our area clients within education division in and around Arkansas. Many of these relationships are a decade or more. That is our goal whenever we begin a partnership with a school or university or college. And we hope for that to be the case with Blytheville. The closest one, or close. Yeah, Mid-South would be the one in Memphis, yeah.
West.
Mhm.
Yep.
And Alan, you can talk just a little bit about
Yes.
presence.
Yeah, this slide will give you a glance of our nationwide local presence. Here in Arkansas, we now service 11 facilities here, 8 K-12 and 3 higher ed. Have a regional office in South Haven, Mississippi, and then our VP's office is in Nashville, Tennessee. And then it kind of give you an overlook of every area, how many schools we cover throughout the nation and higher ed and K-12. Next slide, please. This slide here is a slide that has been customized for Blytheville School District. It's an org chart that we have put together that we feel to be best needed for this district. If you see the green box to your left, that show our corporate regional support. And over to the right, you see Mark Ryson as my regional vice president of operations. Myself as the regional director of operations. And we have a dedicated facility director that we will have on board here that will stay on site at all times. With the help of the grounds, you see we have a grounds lead there with 3 grounds keepers as well. And on the left, I'm going to turn it over to Doug Mitchell and let him explain that to me.
Don't laugh at my accent. No, on the left-hand side, we'll get a person who's going to be managing your Operations Hero work order system. And that's going to be the roadmap for all of your requested support services. You will have a licensed electrician lead. I'm hoping that the director of facilities will have a formal trade license as well, because that can make us adjust the trade mix at the lower level on the hourly side. So trade, formal license trade at the top, you can adjust the mix at the bottom. And you will have a licensed plumber, you will have a licensed electrician, will have a licensed HVAC person by the requirements of the state.
And the whole objective is bringing your staff up to a different level of awareness, and we invest a lot in our people. That's a big part of ABM's way of doing business.
Next slide, you see our full support team with Chris Thomas being our vice president of operations. Yeah, in which we have his full trust and he supports us 100% on the things that we need to do.
Recruiting and talent acquisition, hiring is crucial. We're in the people business, right? And so this is a standardized process for how we handle bringing on existing employees within districts and universities, as well as bringing on additional employees from outside the district if needed. The first one is just how we do that. Some of the avenues that we utilize. Second one is, and I'm not going to go through all of them, don't want to bore you by any means, how we screen them. And you see, it is extensive. We're sourcing for best in class. And so we go through an extensive process of screening and selecting those employees. Training and development starts from day one when we come on board with the district. And you can see there's new hire and safety and it goes on and it's continuous training throughout the life of the relationship with the employees. We believe that a well-trained employee will serve the students and staff, administration, et cetera, in the way that they deserve to be served. And they are also motivated because they are learning and enhancing their skill level. All of this leads to that last column, and that's the retention piece. We want our employees to have opportunity to grow. They start as a frontline employee to grow to a supervisory position and whatnot, if that is something that they desire. But we want retainable employees. We want employees that want to work for the district and want to serve the children. Few examples of some of the things that we do in terms of that retention piece. Again, not going to go through everything, but we really believe in spotlighting the good things that our employees do, whether it's highlights and newsletters internally that we do. We're constantly getting highlights and articles from the districts that we serve, where our employees have been, that they're sharing with the community, where employees have been spotlighted. We have an employee appreciation week annually, among other things. Opportunities for career advancement and mentoring, as we mentioned a moment ago. Our talent and acquisition, we already spoke about that, but we do have 350 across the nation. I think it's actually more than that now, talent acquisition team members. So we do, that's all they do is look for our frontline employees. Constant training, we've already spoken about that. Assessment is a big part of where that training needs to be and needs to be customized. We want to hear from our employees. We have annual surveys and engagement with requesting feedback, and we've already spoken about the onboarding process. Well, again, just want to go through this one very quickly, but as a transition, when we go into a district from day one, communication is the key. So we set up a standard communication plan that works for you and for your key stakeholders within the district, because we believe that the communication throughout the life of the partnership is what's going to extend the life of the partnership. Week one, essentially, you can see we begin with town halls and engaging with the existing employees, giving them, helping them to understand that we want to work with them, want to look forward to having them as part of a team. You can see some of the additional human resources engagement there. We begin to make job offers within that first week to two, and they begin the training of understanding what their job roles and duties All along the way, that documentation and screening we talked about, we'll begin to set schedules with them. Again, that communication with the key district stakeholders is all a part of that. The evaluation and training starts really within that first week, all the way through that first 30-day, which is our standard transition period, as you can see there. And then the recognition programs and the training, et cetera, are ongoing throughout the life of the contract. Doug, you're going to talk a little bit about the assessments.
Yeah, we believe in evaluating the awareness of all employees that we onboard. Very important to get an understanding of the capabilities, their enthusiasms, their aptitude. From that, we can develop a curriculum and a syllabus that's achievable, that will develop those skills so it stops lifting up the phone and calling in a contractor at $160 an hour to throw a switch. So we believe in investing in the training of the employees. And we have a very robust evaluation process that we go through. Specialized training in the sites. We fully understand all your equipment. That further comes into the determination of what training would be best to optimize all of your staff members that we're bringing on board to ABM. And I can tell you that just quickly going back a little bit to the transition, we like to speak about the humanity of transition, because the business that we're in is all about people. We're all educators in many ways. Every one of us are educators. But I've seen every in-house conversions came to ABM. There's fear. We have the town halls. The fear starts dissipating. Then there's the concern about, oh, shoot, am I going to be able to do the job? Employees start seeing the investment we make in them. You see the smiles starting to happen. You see the motivation and the enthusiasm and how people walk to their jobs. I've seen it time and time again, and it's a fun thing to see. Everyone gets reanimated and re-energized. So that's the investment in the training and development side. The safety components is critical in ABM's DNA. And it does translate to, unmatched worker compensation modification rates. It's amazing how well we do. That saving is always transferred to our clients. Back into the transparency of all of the things it's going to be giving the staff, we believe in reporting it. We have to document it, just like it was wonderful to hear you all talking about documentation, whether it be your budgets and the processes that you're going through. ABM is exactly the same. We validate everything we do that just justifies your choice in ABM. Next slide, please. Maintenance improvement. Our eyes, especially when we come and look around your sites, I'll be here regularly if I can get a visa to come back down here again. But its operations here will be fully leveraged. Go back many, many years with Pat Buchanan, who dealt with the state in implementing this new software. And we will evolve it to its utmost capabilities. Bring in a great way of your community requesting service. But behind doors, we have to do the preventive maintenance side. If we do the preventive maintenance side, 80% of your problems disappear. Just doing preventive maintenance on 20% of your systems. So we focus on that, we document that, we validate that, and we bring a balance of third-party contracts and on-site resources. And those on-site resources are your people, become our people. And the end result is a much more robust service delivery support. Operations here, I'm not going to go into all of these things, but again, I go back close on 18 years with Pat Buchanan and all the evolutions of the work order systems that he's implemented. And ABM is a preferred user of this system, so you're going to be in good hands when it comes to this and your annualized reporting to the state of what you're doing. It's very, very important that we're there as your partners to get those must-do reports handed into the state facilities group. Proactive looking at things. We cut buildings into 10 systems, whether it be paving and roads all the way through to interior aesthetics. And ongoing inspections is all part of our quality assurance program we'll hear about in a second, but the more proactive we look at your systems, we want to identify issues before they become issues to the community, the kids, the faculty, the staff. That's our job. We want to put the environment in so you can educate the kids, and not worry about the infrastructures. That's what these inspections do. I'll turn it over to George now to talk about grounds.
Let's talk a little bit about the ground improvement plan. We all know in the community, everybody goes inside your buildings, right? But they do go and see the outside of your building. They do see the landscape. And, the landscape is the number one thing that really gives students that confidence walking into the classrooms. So we definitely want to improve on that. And that's one thing that ABM wants to bring to you is, a group of groundskeepers that will be self-performing and will be dedicated to you only. So you're not having to compete with the local stores or the local bank that also use that same ground service. So ABM is providing you a dedicated ground team for you only. Something with ABM, we're the only ones that actually do have a GMAX testing program. And this is helpful for your athletes. Measuring the hardiness of the playing field, makes it a lot safer for them if we know how hard it is, when they land on the field during playtime. So that's something that ABM brings to you as well, bringing state-of-the-art equipment. We'll be bringing all brand new mowers and weed eaters, trucks and trailers. So, equipment might not look like it hasn't changed much in the recent years, but they're actually a lot faster now. They have better motors, better hydraulic pumps. So you're able to get a little bit faster on the mowing services. So this is just some of the transitions that we've done. This was in July 7th. We took over the school at Lansing, Michigan, July 7th. We can see some of the improvements, done in the very few weeks that we've been there. A lot of it is just, areas that seem to be neglected. Just we're always mowing and not really keeping, up with some of the detail work. ABM wants to bring that with different programs and different herbicides and other, type of implementations that would help improve the school district. This pictures here, this is for the Metro Nashville schools. Now, we've been there a couple of years and these pictures are recent. As you can see, the quality has been continuing on. We can see good edging. We can see the weed control, it's done right. The mowing, typically striping is usually done for sports fields, but if, the proper mowing techniques, you can kind of see what just a general area can have a good appearance. So one thing about ABM is we have, we're the only industry leaders that have 3 certified sports managers, that are available to you, to consult or, with your synthetic fields or your playing, your basic playing fields. We also have multiple licensing, especially the most important one, which is, the certified irrigation. And then of course, the pesticide applicator. It really helps with the weed control. It helps make sure that those cracks look clean and, the beds stay clean as well.
And we're almost done. So biggest part of this is we do principal report cards. So every month we send the principals, we send them a survey and they actually give us a grade. So, and these report cards are customizable. So if they want to report on different things, they can tell us what they want to, or want us to improve upon and what they want us to be graded on. So these are very important. These are done. You can do them mobile friendly or, online, or we can give them a hard copies to fill out and we'll take it from there. And then we want to thank you for your time. And any questions?
All right, Mr. President, you want to go ahead?
I just have a question for you. I believe this information was part of an RFP that went out over a year or so ago. Last year.
March in that timeframe. Yes.
Do we have what is our current maintenance and repair, but what are we spending?
Mr. President, so, Ms. Rhonda, once she got done with budget, we collaborated about 2 or 3 weeks on this. This past year, we looked at the past 2 years, and this previous year, we spent about 1.5, 1.6, so we'd be saving that amount. 3,000 to 4,000, something like that.
400,000.
400,000 from their proposal.
When we talk about talent, traction. We have current maintenance staff. We have roughly about 3 to 5 that are close to retirement, I believe. Will those employees be able to stay with the district or given an opportunity or option, or how?
We have enough positions that everybody can stay on, or we have enough positions where everybody will have a position.
That is part of the program that we built, yes.
Yes.
Okay,
And just as a side note, and I'm just giving you an example of something that we can get very creative and customized, like we mentioned. But we've had districts in the past that have had employees that are long-term, that are very valued, that are close to retirement, but still aren't quite ready to retire. And they can, we've had them where they will actually retire from the district and come fully under our employment and can have a dual income if they like.
We also have it, the attrition model too.
Yes.
Certain employees that have real social capital with the community, that the district wishes them to stay on board. Well, they can work out their term, and then that position morphs over to ABM. And we rehire either that individual, as Cindy was saying, or we get a new licensed individual to come on board. So there's different ways of doing it that no one is hurt. And that's why I call it the humanity of transition. It's about people. It really is about people.
And keeping them whole as well. We have, I don't know if, I think we've already shared some of the benefit information and
The benefit
and so forth. We want to keep your current employees
Yeah, that's the
whole
benefit.
in terms of their income and benefits. And that would be something that we would work towards with you with getting their detailed information for each individual.
They have 401k as well that they're branches into. So it's health and welfare, medical, dental, vision, and 401k.
It's filled out in your enrollment calculation.
I am totally overwhelmed. Even thinking that you guys think that you could do all this for $1 million.
1.2.
You know, I know that what we pay our janitorial service people, I know what we're paying our lawn keepers. How can you do it for that?
We do it all over the United States. We know what we're doing.
Well, I would say, I mean, that sounds very cliche to say, but that is what we do. And
I understand
we have the
that.
efficiencies, we have the processes. We are a large company, but as you can see, with a lot of resources. But as you can see, we're invested in the communities that we serve. So that really is it. I mean, we're a very transparent company. We're a publicly traded company.
What about accountability? I mean,
I love that you're asking that. We mentioned the principal report cards. I mean, that's essentially one of many things that we offer in our quality assurance. We just really trying to keep it very relevant and not overwhelm you with information. But that's one, and it's very intimate, right? Because that's coming straight from that principal. We have KPIs, key performance indicators that we set with you, with your key stakeholders within the district. And we have a cadence of measurements of those where we are measured and report back. We have real-time reporting dashboards that we can customize for you so that whoever you want to see them can see them at any given time. We also do things such as where we bring in the Chris Thomas that Alan mentioned and some of our regional and corporate leaders on the operations side and do a client business review on a quarterly basis so that it's sort of an even playing field, right? We're not in the heat of the moment discussing an immediate need, but we're looking at where we've come in that quarter and where we as a team want to go in the next quarter, 2 or 3. So there's a lot of ways that we, and again, I can't stress enough, they're standardized for us because we do this all over the country every day. All in
I
schools.
have no doubt whatsoever that everything you're saying here is true. I have no doubt about that. You're asking $1.2 million and then you're gonna turn around and you're gonna reinvest 268,000 back to us. So now we're just talking about $1 million.
That's depreciated on.
Yeah, over the life of the
That's
contract.
depreciated. All the equipment we bring in,
Yeah.
you're paying for it, but you're paying for it over the term. You know, and we talked about, we could do a 1 year with options to renew. After 1 year, if you're not happy with what we're doing, we take our equipment and go. But I mean, if you go the full contract, that equipment's yours when it's over. Or if you want to pay for it and buy the depreciated value out, you can, so.
If we sign a contract for 5 years, this is the price yearly.
There will be some
We
increases.
we will request a CPI each year. Typically, it's a 3% increase that we would request. Mhm. But other than that, that's, now, if you build a new school, if you add to, the requirements or the requests, what you want from us, we'll work through that with you. But yeah, that's the price.
So I have a question, mention that. So you have visited all of our properties in the Blytheville School District, correct?
Alan and I both have been in.
Both of these guys have visited.
Okay, so I
us.
don't, so
Yes,
if we,
and George has as
also
well.
George.
Yes, George has as well.
With grants.
Clark, I have a question on
Yes.
on this proposal, the cost to be provided by the Blytheville School District.
Yes,
Okay, what is the cost providing and maintaining walk-off mats? What is
oh, that, I should have took that out. That was part of the, because we gave a custodial price early on as well, but I should have took that. That's for custodial.
Yeah,
That was from that RFP that you.
Yeah.
It's a program that we
Yes.
submitted.
I'm sorry. I should have took that off.
Yeah, it was separate. That was separate.
proposal and some things that I really like about it.
Yes.
As far as
Are all our contracts over? Are they all up for renewal? Such as janitorial and lawn service?
This includes the lawn service here.
Not on the janitorial. This is only for grounds and maintenance.
This is just for grounds maintenance.
Grounds and
Grounds
maintenance.
and grounds.
Okay.
That's for both.
Yeah, maintenance and ground, that's what the paperwork is saying here.
Yes.
I mean, the synergies of putting all services together, it's interesting you asked that, but again, you've got you've got a relationship right now. Fantastic. We're used to, many places where we provide different services beyond the custodial. Custodial is a large part of what we do across the United States. And the synergies explored when you have a unified workforce is really good. But even with a partner, we both have to play nice in your sandbox to give you the best services possible. So we have to collaborate. That's imperative. No matter who's doing the service with you, we have to collaborate with them. So you are the benefactors of that. Sure.
But we have an attorney to look before we sign. We have an attorney to look at that.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Y'all sign our label, so this.
Nanny, nanny, nanny.
That, Clark, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Our lawyer's bigger than your lawyer.
I met some of you guys at Cosmo.
Yeah.
And some at Southern Leadership, so.
Yeah, we've seen you for a while. Some of you.
uh,
Okay, Mr. President.
so this, be clear. We are saving money.
Saving money and enhancing what we have. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Miller, I would like to see a report of what we're spending currently in these, you know, or what we've spent over the past year to know, you know, to see that we're saving money. Because I know we've got separate things happening here, so this is not janitorial, so pull that out and whatever we're paying on janitorial there. You know, the maintenance piece, I know we've been hiring people to do the maintenance, but I want to see those separate budgets in order to spend $1.2 million to see that we really are saving that money. And is that 1.2 million, or rather, the 1.4 that you mentioned, is that including like major projects or
No.
upgrades?
No, just
Just
no.
purely maintenance.
Maintenance, that can be the benefits from each employee salary, everything, money that we spend for, supplies, yeah, everything in maintenance department, nothing but big projects.
And we expect to do
Yes,
more
it's-
in-house and rely less on third party. So that's where you're saving, a lot of savings.
So, Mr. Yes, I can get that, that's what me and Rhonda worked on, I can kind of give you.
Yeah, I would like to see it, and really, I kind of like to see it for like the past 3 years.
I would like to make a motion that we accept ABM grounds and maintenance repair services for $1,222,864.08 minus the $268,000.
I second that
There's
motion.
been a motion and a second here at this time. All in favor?
You can strike that.
So I would like to say that before we go ahead and make the motion. Also, we, as board members, we can research that, Mrs. Johnson. It's listed in the very beginning of his presentation of others that is using their service. And say, and the rating of their guarantee and their services. They've been around for a while.
I'm certainly not suggesting that you not do this, but if I'm gonna sprinkle any kind of holy water on it, I'd like to see the contract before you vote to enter into the contract.
Scope of work and everything, absolutely.
So I'm gonna suggest that if the earth's not gonna cave in, that you vote on this the next meeting and you take this into consideration. Because once these questions are answered and everybody's happy with it, and there's a concern, my concerns that I have in my head are answered, then I think that's the time to vote to enter into the contract before seeing the contract.
I will
Go
rescind
ahead,
my
Mr.
motion.
Bob.
Can you approve it pending
Contract.
board contract approval by board attorney?
Essentially, the process usually follows is a letter of intent, that the scope is clearly defined, negotiated, and the contract terms, documented. And the name of our lawyer is Dewey, Cheatham and Howe. They're really good. They're out of New York, but don't hold that against.
Handled ours.
My suggestion is,
Yeah,
unless
that's
it's, unless
the
it's
usual
has to
process.
be done tonight for some reason, that it'll last until next month. And but you're my boss. You can do what you want to, but if it blows up in your face, please don't come and say, why didn't you tell us not to do it?
Well, that's not the first time, Mr. Coleman. We've done a lot of things that blew up in our face that you approved. For 20 years, I've seen.
Hang on. It's okay to the contract.
It's what we want to do.
I move the table action item L.
Well,
We got a motion.
we have a motion on that.
Rescind the term. That I was saying, but-
So,
No, you can't, you have to vote on that, so you can't do that.
okay, we have two motions, well, a motion and a table that has been formed.
Right.
We've heard from council. And the question has been presented. Could we enter into pending contract you with both attorneys?
Okay.
And if he says no, it becomes null and
It's
void.
No,
null and void.
Yeah,
This just gives, I'm gonna, what this does is gives us a green light internally to begin preparing some of what we just talked about. Remember, we're a large company with resources, right? But it gives us a green light to begin preparing for your benefit. But if your attorney, and we can get you our contract tomorrow.
There's a copy of it
It's
without.
actually, I think it
without
is in the
scope. It's in there,
documentation.
but it doesn't have the scope.
But if your attorney and our attorney cannot come to terms, this is null and void and nothing goes forward. Really, the letter of intent or intent to move forward is just for us to have an internal green light to prepare and begin our wheels.
formalization, yeah.
I still recommend against it. It'll wait until next month.
What the board has to say so for the presentation.
You absolutely do have to say something, Mr. Wells. You have the freedom to reject every recommendation I make.
No, if it's not agreeable and it's not wrong, like I said, whatever, yes, sir, I will. As long as you're in your position and I'm in mine, yes, sir. Go ahead, Mr. President.
What would be the negativity?
The negativity is you've committed to doing something that I may tell you don't want to do.
Okay.
And I'm trying to figure out the positivity of not, you, by your comments here today, you've pretty much given these people the idea that unless I say, don't do it, you're gonna go forward with it. So I think that would give them the green light to go ahead and start moving in that direction. And then you can vote on it and approve it, assuming you follow my recommendation, and my recommendation is everything looks hunky-dory, then you'll be just fine. But once you say, we're gonna do this, I think you've kind of put yourself in a position of creating a problem with what lawyers call detrimental reliance and promissory estoppel, and I don't recommend that you do it. So unless somebody's giving me a very solid reason why it won't wait till next month, I would always suggest that you actually read the contract before you vote to approve the contract. Always my thoughts.
Huh? I didn't hear you.
I said the same thing you said.
Yes, as well. We're gonna do that. We're gonna read it. But it's,
We have heard council. We have a motion. A
I
second.
would like 2%.
Motion has been presented at this time.
what's the next bill?
I motion we table action item L until we hear back from our lawyer.
I second.
There's been a motion.
So you agree with that, Ms. Turner, okay? Second.
In no way should you look at this as something negative.
Not at all.
Caution, nothing.
You know, he's got a point. You can't fight it.
Absolutely.
We understand.
We understand. We will hold internally until we get the confirmation from you. We won't, begin our internal, but we'll get you the documentation that you need so that you can
And after
review.
I talk with your
Yeah.
lawyer or whatever, and I say, look, it looks okay to me, then that, you can start moving in that direction.
Absolutely.
But
Did I hear
don't feel
that we could get
comfortable.
that contract to you tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, we'll get them the full scope of work and the contract.
In November, we'll revisit.
Yeah.
If that's board desire by the motion that has been made, seconded by Mrs. Nichols. So we do have a motion to table action item.
Bill,
And then motion second, all in favor of tabling action item L till November board meeting. Let me also remind the board for this, we do have a work session as well. Should any information that Mr. Coleman presents to us, we will be in an official meeting at that time. That we can discuss this at that time.
That's
So-
what's today, the work session and the retreat. You don't know.
November, it's the week of November the 11th.
11.
No, it's the 11th through the 14th. We have to, I'll discuss that after the motion. We have a motion and a second. All in favor of tabling action item L for further review of our board attorney, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed?
We've been bid a lot of times.
Completely.
I know it's time to cover our butts.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell him,
Yeah.
like, it's just the first time,
Okay.
especially if you get that auditorium deal. Yeah,
We have personnel recommendations, A and B. Is there any need to go into executive session at this time?
Well, I don't want Miss Watley to retire.
Yes, sir, I will.
Yes, we should.
I'd say, let's thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna do it.
Good question. Thank you.
I'm over by, I'm over by help.
Thank you. Thank you, Bobby. Bobby.
Mr. Hannah,
Yes, ma'am.
I do, and, I know he can't go into executive session, Mr. Wright, because I need to, well, we could discuss that. I need to know where these people are doing and where they're gonna be placed at on this personnel recommendation. I would like to go into.
That would be
It's like,
Blankenship. These people are not employees yet,
right,
so that we. Discuss it, yeah, they don't, that,
They don't have an assignment.
that would be with the superintendent at that time.
okay, that's fine, but, let's just do it proper, let's just go
Their
back.
campus assignments haven't been made yet.
Okay, that's fine. But,
Okay.
well, yes, it has. Look what you got, look at your first step recommendation, may not be the campus, but you got admin. So that's common sense, you got them assigned somewhere, it's saying admin.
That's for the
I'm not from the
CSSO.
district. Beg your pardon?
That's for the CSSO where they have admin on it.
You don't understand my point. I'm saying they not assigned.
That's, Ms. West, that's not our discretion as to the assignment.
Where they gonna work
That
at?
would be Ms. Blank.
Excuse me.
Their building assignments haven't been made yet. We want to make sure that they
You
get
just wanna hire
approved
them.
first.
You just wanna hire them and you said, that's what you wanna do.
So you have to hire them, get them trained and find the best fit for them, yes.
Okay, but see, you see where you got CSSO, that's telling me that they want to be in admin. In admin,
If we lose any
working.
CSSO,
You see what I'm
Yes,
saying?
ma'am.
Yeah, if you got that on your personnel recommendation, you got admin, that's telling me that that's what we wanna hire them for, to work in admin. Administration building. I don't have a problem where they're gonna work there, but I'm just trying to correct you the way that you all did it, it's incorrect. As far as just reading them.
Their motion to, for personnel recommendations A and B.
I make motion that we accept personal recommendations.
Second, I second. There's been a motion by Ms. Johnson, a second by Mr. Jefferson.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I actually go into executive session to discuss. I have some questions about these people. I don't care where they're gonna be assigned. So if y'all wanna override that, believe that or
We
not.
have to entertain a motion, but I thought you said you were okay with,
As far as
as
what
far as
she,
it was
what
listed.
she said.
But I would like to remind you that these are not district employees. Any discussion we can have pertaining to these roles, they're not our district employees at this time. For matters of executive session and personnel matters, these are not our employees, Mrs. Love.
It would be an employment decision. It could be done in executive session.
Okay.
Right.
So, well, that's what I'm saying. I want to clarify what we are going into. Are you, were you concerned about how it was listed as an action item, or are you concerned about?
It's not an action. I'm just concerned about, the people names on here for hiring to work in the district. And that's what it was, but I'm fine, whatever, yeah, they want to
I'm
hire, then I'm hiring. I mean, I'm fine, just answer the question, yes, I'm fine. I'll go ahead on and vote with her.
All in favor of personnel recommendations A and B, please signify by raising the right hand. Motion carries unanimous. I would like to entertain it, if you would like to entertain a motion to go into executive session, you can at this time.
No.
Is it? I just want just clarity. All right, Ms. Blankenship, any other?
Yes, before we leave, Ms. Watley, is retiring after 21 years. So we have a few things to present to her and then, to get a picture with you guys. She's done a lot for all of us here in this room. And so.
Absolutely.
Please don't go.
Least you can do is cry about it.
You all can stay when it's her last day.
Her last day is going to be
Tomorrow.
Why you leaving tomorrow?
So that's
Friday.
I want to treat, all of us are getting one, you know what I mean? So you have these for everybody, so you finally get your own. No. What? You gonna ring the bell? Okay, get here, or in this one? Let's go there.
It's Trace in the center there. By the center. There you go. Time my class make the time. Yeah. I'm really jealous. Can I go, if I retire tonight, can I go with you tomorrow? I don't work tomorrow. Last space. I know it. Last space. Last 7 years. You don't have to do that. You sure? Yeah, you're okay.
You're good.
That's about that worked. 1, 2, 3. You heard that one. You got your.
Thank you, everybody. I'm not leaving town.
We're going back to my.
Have a song that.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Hey, retirement is was practice.
I know it's wonderful.
She's not.
Yeah.
Are you taking them back from her?
No, I'll leave here till tomorrow.
All right, if there is Ms. Wiley, thank you so much
Thank you.
for everything you've done. I think this past year, we have been got to know each other very well. And I owe you lunch at Dixie Pig.
We all owe signatures for you.
Do you have a training?
The position is listed, at this time. Will you please help train them?
She says she will.
Thank you. If there's no other business coming before the Blytheville Board of Education, this meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
They trained to do that. That.